How you guys doing? As always, please like, comment, and subscribe. Now I want to quickly go over, follow up on my last video that I talked about with depression and isolation, and also address a comment that was made in this comment section. Now, one person said that why do black women come to the country, hang out with each other, and once they finish partying, they get bored? Now, the video I made was not about a black person. The person who I was speaking about was actually a white female. And just because, first of all, being lonely and having depression does not have a skin color, does not have a language, and does not have a certain culture. No matter where you're from and where you at, you might face depression and isolation. So let's put that out there. It's not only a black woman thing, a black man thing, or a white person thing. Any and everybody can feel depressed. And as we know, it doesn't matter what country you're in, everyone has their moment where they feel isolated. We all have our own different lives. I don't see my friends all the time, and vice versa. They don't see me. Just like in the States, you probably was not underneath your friend 24/7 and seeing them in your family. They have their own lives. So no matter how beautiful the country is, no matter how amazing the beaches, the people, the food, all that, you can still feel isolated no matter where you at. So to say that, I want to let you guys know that if you are suffering in any way, please try to get assistance, please try to get help, because your problem does not change or not leave you, like the problem does not go away just because you decided to move to a different country. Whether that's with your family, your career, there's multiple reasons why people are feeling depressed and feel isolated. It can be very cliquey here, just like it can be very cliquey anywhere. Having cliques is not only a high school thing, it's people everywhere. Now, if anybody knows me or have encountered me, you guys know, if anytime somebody ever spoken to me or reached out to me or messaged me, called me, text me, any type of way, I have always reached out, I have always spoken, and provided my feedback, whatever they needed, I gave it to them. But not everybody is that open. And it's like, there's people who, as you guys know, there's introverts, there's extroverts. If you were an introvert in the state, just because you move to a different country does not mean you're going to be more bubbly and open. That does not mean that. And you can meet as many people as possible. You can be in as many Facebook groups as possible, WhatsApp groups, the same thing. So you cannot assume, or why do people come to these certain countries and feel depressed or feel isolated? Like I always tell you guys, people are people no matter what. There's people who's going to be friendly, there's going to be people who's going to be rude, there's going to be people who's going to support you, and there's people who's not going to support you. And just because you come here, you don't know what situation people got going on back in their home country. A lot of people, I'm telling you right now, you might think people live in a perfect life. A lot of these people do not work. A lot of expats. I'm not speaking for Dominicans. I'm not speaking for no type of locals. I'm talking about expats. A lot of expats do not work. They have saved up money. I don't know, whatever limit they have saved up. They have saved up money. They are living by using credit cards. And if they are finding some type of hustle, you living paycheck to paycheck. There's only a good amount of, a handful of people that I know who came financially stable. A lot of people just like me, just be winging it. So you cannot assume the reasons people are feeling depressed. Just know people are feeling depressed and they need outlets. Whatever the outlets it is. Somebody told me their situation, how they was feeling. And I basically was like, know what? Let me explain it to my page, because other people might be feeling the same way. She is not the only person that's feeling that way. She's definitely not. She's not the first, and she won't be the last. I just want you guys to know, for everybody who's at home, that it is not always sunshine and rainbows. That sometimes people go through things, and you need to find your own group of people. That was the reason for the video. Just to explain, like, sometimes, like, it's helpful if you find your group of people. Because if you find your group of like group of people, some people that have same interests as you, people who have same goals, or like your group of friends. Once you find your group of friends, things could be a lot easier. Especially if you don't know the language. It's definitely, and that's why a lot of you say, why a lot of people hang out to each other. Why a lot of black people come down here, or black females come down here and hang out with other black people, or black females. You kind of stick to who you know. So if you don't know the language, the first thing you're gonna do is, oh, you speak English? Where you from? Oh, how long you been here? Oh, let's link up. Let's hang out. Let's go to the beach. Of course, you gonna do that. And if anybody's saying that if they're American or a Canadian or any country, from any country, and they speak English, and they're telling you that they don't approach another English speaking person when they out on the street and they hear them speak English and say, hey, where you from? What's your name? How you been here? They are lying. That is natural, because when you're in a country full of, like, you in a foreign country, basically, they speak in a totally different language than you. No matter if you know the language or not, they speak a totally different language. So when you hear somebody who speaks your native tongue, you automatically be like, yo, where you from? Oh, yo, let's link up. I have met so many people who's not even on lasterrenas because of stuff like that. Like, we are going to La Vega on Friday. There's a family who reached out to me because we down here. And that wasn't the first time person who reached out to me that's in La Vega. But if I didn't have something in common, something that interests them, if it wasn't something that basically connected us together, it probably would never be a conversation for us to even go to La Vega to see this family. You get what I'm saying? Like, there's so many people who I met through, like, in Sosua, Cabarete, even when I was in puertoplata. I'm telling you right now, even when I was in Colombia, I met this older couple, Hispanic couple, and the fact that we had something in common, you know what happened? We exchanged numbers. They said, hey, you could come to our house. These people, they don't know me from a can of paint, but we had one thing common in common. You know, we have an interest in common. So you cannot assume, well, people are being depressed or feeling isolated because once they party, the party is done, they bored. If you've been to Las Serenas, you already know there's not too much to do here. So you have to occupy yourself with different things. Whether you already know. If you watch my channel, you know I try to do as much as possible. And I'm gonna make a video about what I've got going on, because I got other things I've got going on, and I want to basically let my page know, my supporters know, so you guys can participate in what I be doing. Anytime you're in the island, you go hit me up and we there. So it's another topic, but I want to let you guys know that just because these certain people are a group and they hanging out and they going to clubs, they going to the beach and X, Y, and Z, does not mean they are happy 24/7. Because when you leave the beach, when you leave that restaurant, when you leave anything you got going on, you are coming home to yourself. Everybody got their own life. Some people work, some people don't, but a lot of people do not work. And when you dealing with finance, people are struggling with financially, stressed out financially in the U.S. And they think they expect to come here and to ease that financial burden, but some people still are struggling, and that's frustrating. That's exhausted. They going through frustration, exhaustion, every emotion possible. So there's multiple reasons why people are depressed and isolated. And again, I have one friend who, a separate friend from the depression and isolation, a separate friend who would love to come down here, who would love to visit, but she does not have the support from her family. That could cause depression, that could cause isolation. And sometimes people just need a push. A push. That's why I tell you guys, no matter what's going on, no matter who you are, do what you want to do. And if it does not work out, you can always go back home. But sometimes people need a push because they do not have the support and the push from their own family. So I'm letting you guys know right here, that if you don't have this support from your family, you could definitely get it from me. I have given so many people my numbers. I have talked to so many people on the phone. It's not about money to me. You guys know I have started the relocation services, but I have done so many just from. It's not anything like that where if you need anything, I'm there. But not everybody has that. It's not always about money. It's not always about what you would get from somebody. It's none of that. Sometimes people just need support, and I need you guys to understand that just because you are going to a different country, sometimes your problem does not disappear, and you can be struggling. You can feel all the emotions possible. And I saw people say, "Oh, there's the Facebook groups." Yes, there's the Facebook groups. There's WhatsApp groups. There's tons of groups. But the thing about Facebook groups, I would say a good 70 to 80% of the people that's in those Facebook groups does not live in the country. They do not live in the Dominican Republic. A lot of them are on the groups because they're trying to get information in regarding the Dominican Republic. They're trying to get information regarding housing, regarding healthcare, regarding X, Y, and Z. You see, if you go to a Facebook group, you see a million people saying, "Hey, can you tell me what's the best place to live? Can you tell me this? Can you ask me this? Tell me this?" A lot of people do not live in the island, and if they have ever moved to the island, I'm saying I'm not going to have that high. I'm gonna say 6 out of 10, they probably don't even live here no more. I've seen so many people come and go, come and go, come and go, and again, we leave lasterrenas. That's what you understand. There's so many people who do not leave lasterrenas. There's so many people who come to the island, go to a town, whether that's Punta Cana, whatever town they go to, they come to a town and they stay in that town. We leave. A lot of people do not leave the town. A lot of people don't even catch the bus. If you don't know, it's expensive to get cars here. Cars is like, just for a cheap car that's like in the 1990s, it's like $5,000 and up, $5,000 US dollars and up. A lot of people do not have cars, so basically, and they never caught a bus. So if you don't have a car and you never caught the bus anywhere else, you just basically stuck in that town. And it's not like you in Santo Domingo or Punta Cana, they got Uber. So if you don't have Uber and you don't have a lot of means to take taxis back and forth to different towns, you basically just in that town, sitting, meeting people, whatever you're doing, just in that town. So of course, if you just in that town for months on end and don't really go anywhere, besides probably going to the airport to go home, you're gonna feel like you stuck. You're gonna feel like, you're gonna probably feel stuck. And another thing, it's like. And it also comes to fear too, because a lot of people, like I was telling you before, a lot of people don't catch the bus, but it's out of fear. It's definitely out of fear, and then with the fear comes anxiety, and with anxiety comes more possibly depression. So there's multiple reasons why a person have certain emotions and why they feel the way that they feel. Lastly, I just want to talk to you guys about is regarding the family situation. Is that, how can I say this? A lot of people, once you move the country, people are going to praise you. They're going to be like, "Oh my goodness, you guys did it. It was great. Like, oh my God, I can't believe you do it." Like, I want to do it because you give so many people so much inspiration, so much motivation to, like, go and live their life the way they want to live, because they see you doing the same thing. They see you out here venturing out, traveling, and you don't even know, no matter you have a page or not, you don't even know how many people you are inspiring. It's so many people who I don't even know. There's so many people who I don't even know, who know my family, who know my parents, and be like, "Yo, I see what your daughter is doing. Like, that's crazy. Like, I see what she's doing." And so you might be inspiring people that you don't even know you are inspiring. But but the thing is, some people feel like, "You know what? I took this leap. I'm in this country. I'm not really happy here, but I don't want to go back and prove people right that I made a mistake. It's a cycle. It's so much stuff people go through. So I'm telling you right now, don't assume, because depression and isolation and anxiety does not have a skin color, does not have a language, and it has nothing. It don't even have a face. Anybody can feel it. So you cannot assume anything. And like I said, people feel like, oh, I don't want to go back. I don't want to feel like a failure. It's multiple reasons. Like, you guys know. And for the people who feel like that, I feel like you gave it a try. You did more than the next person. And again, if it does not work out, you can always go back home. You can always go to another country, because you gave that leap of faith. It's people in your town. It's people in your city. It's people everywhere who just in the 10-block radius, who never left home. I know people like that now, who never left Philly. The farthest Philly they left is probably downtown, and they ain't been downtown in 20 years. Still in their neighborhoods. So just give it a try, and if it does not work out, just dust yourself off and try again. Because life is never too short, and it don't matter if you're 40, 60, 70 years old, just try it and just try to get some support. If you can't get support from your family, definitely use resources that's on social media. But that's all I really want to talk to you guys about. I've seen the comments, and I had to basically respond to the comment, because you definitely can't assume. And people are people, and people have emotions, and it doesn't matter what country you in, how blue the sky is, how bright the beach is. It doesn't matter, none of that. People gonna feel the way they feel, and people gonna have, people gonna go through things. It don't matter. They can live in the most beautiful country in the world, and they still might feel alone. They still might feel isolated. But that's why they need support. They need to build support. But sometimes it's easier said than done. It's definitely easier said than done. So I don't want you guys to feel like, oh, she's just talking, because it's definitely easier said than done. But if you need to talk, have any questions, definitely email me, and I'll respond. So I'll talk to you guys later.